Hey folks, welcome once again to the Gray Zone. Well, I'll tell you the stuff that's happening in our world around us. Today I'm going to keep this one too long, but long enough for people to understand that there's crazy stuff happening, and we need to be prepared as Americans. We need to be ready and focused. Uh, Things have most certainly changed, folks. Things have changed, and again, as I've said in the last video, I don't care if you're liberal or conservative, you got to be paying attention. Really be paying attention. We go to Iran first. Poor folks out there are still marching for their lives. Now, here back at home, there are many of us who support the good people of Iran who want a better life. But then there's a lot of us over here that are too busy playing politics. And to those of you, I say, shame on you. Shame on you for taking a side that is willing to allow the suffering of all the good people out there. Shame on you that would allow the suffering of all the good people of Venezuela. Because that kind of evil exists in this world, and there's more that kind of evil that exists in this world. Not to mention the kind of evil we're going to have to put up with probably in the future. And we shall be standing together. We should all be standing united. We should be e pluribus unum. From many one. We should be focused on what's really taking place. The United States has the technology. We have nothing but well-trained, oiled machines. Men and women, strong, healthy, ready. But here in the Gray Zone, I still say, let's hope we don't have to put our brothers and sisters in harm's way. And it's mostly due to politics, folks. Some stupid politician that wants to keep playing politics so he could keep filling up his pockets and make himself more wealthy by the minute, along with the banks. As far as the banks go, be prepared, Americans. I would look this up if I were you. They're changing the banking system. Now, I don't know if it's been implemented yet, but they're stating that they're going to make banks only allow you a limit of $500 of removal. Regulations have started, folks. Okay, and that's going to go for everything. They're going to start regulating the educational system. They're going to start regulating how much gasoline you're allowed to buy, how much food you'll be allowed to purchase. Things are going to start getting regulated, and you're going to notice it, and people are going to get angry. I'm telling you now. While the elitists go ahead and they steal all the real food and take it to the bunker. This is getting serious, folks. The people of Iran are out there fighting. They're pleading. Please, Donald Trump, come and save us. Come, get these oppressors out of here. And, I mean, a lot of rumors are going around that he's planning airstrikes. He's even said in the last report, that he's telling the people of Tehran, clear out of the streets of Tehran. But then another report came and said that he told them, keep fighting. I'm pretty sure he has something he's planning. It's just the media's going to screw it all up and turn it into something different, like they already have. These constant protests on American soil are making things even more harder. Not just for these people who are doing this, the real villains, but for the people who are following the villains that don't know any better. Venezuela was not taken over. An evil regime was toppled. That's what took place. Oil is not being stolen. That oil was never Venezuela's in the first place. Donald Trump took it, as well as he should have. I agree, and I'm sure a lot of Americans agree, as a form of payment for the time he went out of his way to free a country. We need the oil. And I'm pretty sure he's going to share it with Venezuela and the new president. Those poor people in Iran are dying, folks. 10,000 have already died, and maybe more. And we sit on our thumbs over here in America, complaining, bitching, and griping about what we don't have. We spend our time being hypocrites, donating to causes sometimes that aren't even in our best interest, because we spend so much time with our heads in our asses. And this is sad. Our heads are buried under the dirt, and we don't see the true nature of what's really taking place here. Venezuela, let me remind you, was freed by Maduro. The Islamic Republic is murdering their people in the streets. Their lights are out. Their electricity is out. Their cell phones, people are lucky to still have their cell phones functional to be able to report and release some of the footage that they've been releasing, because they're shooting the people if they find out they are releasing any footage at all. Cuba is on standby. The rumor most recently in Greenland was that NATO and Dutch troops started preparing themselves for an American invasion. Oh, the media. America was not going to be invaded in Greenland. Okay? What's happening in Greenland is much deeper. But I'll give you the military standpoint. Submarines from both sides, Russia and China, have been seen in those zones, not to mention destroyers and other Navy ships. They're looking through that area, folks, because Greenland is a very delicate area. If Russia and China can make their way through there, it's going to be tough, because then they can follow it up with airstrikes. Along if North Korea hits us with an EMP blast, that's going to be even tougher. There'll be no communications. Your cars won't work. Your cell phones won't work. Your refrigerators won't work. Your food will go bad. The water won't work. That's it. The buses won't work. The trains won't work to take you to work. That's it. A system completely shut down. And let me give you some advice, folks. The federal government's not going to march in here in every single zone. They're not going to be able to. We're on our own. As this escalates, we are on our own. We have to consider also the great technology that the U.S. is using against these enemies, that Trump is pushing to be used. There was an interview I want to share with you. Now, before I share this with you, I want you to understand, I'm sharing this with you, I'll make you understand that America has the stuff to put a stop to these wars. We have the technology, we have the well-trained oiled men and women of the U.S. Army, of the Marines, Navy, Air Force. This was an interview that was taken on the night Maduro was taken. Okay? It said, the soldier said, we didn't hear anything coming, but suddenly all our radar systems shut down. Without any explanation, we saw a lot of drones flying over our position, and we didn't know how to react. After the drones appeared, so did helicopters arrive, but there were very few. I think barely 8 helicopters. In those helicopters, soldiers came down. It was a small number, maybe 20 soldiers. And these men were technologically very advanced. They didn't look like anything we ever fought before. This is coming from the security detail team, and there were a large amount of members that day, soldiers protecting Maduro. It's just to show you, we can make a mess. I think barely 8 helicopters from those helicopter soldiers came down, a number of 20 men, 20 soldiers. But these men were technologically advanced. They didn't look like anything we ever fought before. And then the battle began, but it was a massacre. We were hundreds. We had no chance. They were shooting with such precision and speed, it seemed like each soldier was shooting 300 rounds per minute. We couldn't do anything. Their own weapons didn't help. He said it wasn't just the weapons at one point. They launched something, they said, I don't know how to describe it. and it was like a very intense sound wave. Suddenly, I felt like my head was exploding from the inside out, and we all started bleeding from our nose. Some were vomiting blood, and we fell to the ground unable to move. Dozens of men were killed, but they suffered no casualties, the American team. And the man said, we have no way to fight their technology. And I swear I'd never seen anything like it. This is the technology, folks, that we're going to have to use against the enemy. Understand this, Americans, conservative and liberal alike. Are we really going to just let it all go? Are we really just going to let it all slip through our fingers? Are we really just going to bow down to our masters and say, that's it? We're going to fight each other to serve a whole group of people that eat steaks, $300 steaks every day, and wear $2,000 suits, while the rest of us eat chef Boyardees? Because I guarantee you, if everything starts to go down the way it's going to go down, if it continues this way, we'll be eating more of the MREs. If we're lucky for soldiers to come by and feed us. It's going to be tough. People need to be ready. You need to be focused. There's a lot of things happening, folks. And we need to be ready. Seriously. We need to be ready. We could keep fooling ourselves all we want. We could keep telling ourselves, yeah, it's going to get better. Things are going to change. That Trump is this and that Trump is that. Maybe it's us. Maybe we're the idiots who don't see the truth. Maybe we're the fools that allowed ourselves for so many years to become caught up in all this. And to my brothers and sisters out there, if you're going to leave a comment, let it be about politics. Don't worry about my jacket. Don't worry about what I'm wearing. Don't worry about my dog tags, because these are real. Focus. Seriously, focus. Because once all this happens, you have to ask yourself, what kind of American are you? What kind of person are you? Because you're going to be tested. When you're running low on food, water, gasoline, medicine for your children, are you going to lose moral value? Are you going to follow honor, dignity, and respect? Because all you want to do is help make sure your kids are safe. And I say to many of you, I'm sure you will. Many of you will. Many of you are going to lose your way. This is unfortunate that these things are happening. But anyone who understands prophecy should understand these things were going to happen anyway. This is prophecy in the making. And I saw the city of Gog and Magog make their way through the Euphrates River. And behind them came the kings of the east. And I saw both great and rich and poor receive him mark on their right hand. And he who does not have the mark shall not be able to buy nor sell. Christians are being persecuted in African countries, murdered. Christian persecution has already started. People are too busy pointing fingers at each other instead of looking at themselves in the mirror. Because the truth is, folks, we're just as much to blame. We're just as much to blame because we said yes to something we should have said no to. Everything's changed. Iran is in total turmoil. Iraq could be next. The people are tired. Those poor folks that have to keep following rules over there, they're murdering women and children, folks. They're murdering women and children. Okay? They did the same thing in Venezuela. It's just wrong. I don't care what side of the time you're on. When you start murdering women and children just to prove you have power, you gotta understand that's just gone out of control. We should all be on the same page, but clearly we're not. As these people keep protesting in the streets. About a week or two ago, when Venezuela was just about freed, there was a protest in Manhattan, and then a large group of Venezuelans came and started marching towards them. By the time the news got a hold of it, they were like, apparently they didn't know what to say. The Venezuelans were telling the truth. We were freed, and you people are out here protesting against what Trump is doing. We've lost sight of the game. We've taken our eyes off the ball a long time ago, and I would have to say since 9/11, because Americans have gotten naive. We're getting weak. We need to refocus and recalibrate our minds and our hearts. Forget that you hate Donald Trump. To my liberal brothers and sisters, forget that you hate him. Think of how, if all this happens, how this is going to affect you. Okay? A draft is still coming. There are ads all over Facebook asking for 50-plus-year-olds now to re-enlist, especially if they're prior service. Because I'm telling you, I'm reconsidering it. I'm currently 54 now. There's not going to be much left if we keep letting politics play us like fiddles. You have to ask yourself again, what kind of American are you? And do you really care about this country? Because once this goes, there is no safe zone. Okay? Here in the gray zone, we understand that. There is no safe zone. Once America is finished, that's it. Every other country will be regulated. And a lot of people that don't want to follow the game will be arrested. Regulating. This is a dangerous time we're living in, folks. Very dangerous times. So I say we need to be more aware, be more observant to everything around us, because it's getting tougher to feed our kids, to find work. Gasoline prices are going high. Food prices are going even higher. Farms are being destroyed. Where's all that meat coming from? Where's all that meat coming that McDonald's, Burger King, and all these other franchises are using? Why aren't our vegetables safe anymore? Why aren't our fruits safe anymore? Why is life insurance so expensive? Why do houses and rent keep going up instead of bringing it down so that folks who are in the middle class or low-income families could afford a little more, so they could have a little more bread on their table for their kids and their families? Because in the end, we are treated like sheep. I say nay. You know, we shouldn't have to live like that. Now we're looking at drafts. This is going to affect the system, the banking system. You have scammers, people scamming your phone, people scamming your PC, your laptops. You know, you can't even make a phone call without having a secondary phone call go, hello, this is the Social Security company. We heard that you might be disabled. I mean, it's one hacker after the next. You can't even go on your phone and have a normal conversation with anybody, because now all people want to do is text you. I'll text you. Why don't you just pick up the phone and call me? No. Simple has gotten complicated. And complicated to these folks are simple. They rather do things more harder than it has to be, which is exactly what's happening in Congress and the Democrats. They've already sold their side to an ideology that is going to throw them under the bus once it's done with them. And that's the God honest truth, folks. The same thing's happening with you liberals. And in a way, the same thing's happening with the conservatives. But A lot more conservatives are more aware of what's taking place in this country and across and abroad than most liberals. In the end, we all are going to feel the pinch. We're all going to feel the pinch. So you can keep making up stories. Oh, well, Trump did this and Trump did that and the orange man bad. Orange man bad. Right. That means Obama was bad. George Bush Jr. was bad. George Bush Sr. was bad. Bill Clinton was bad. They all were bad in some way, folks. Come on. You know, they were all bad. So people choose to see what they want to see when they want to see it. The only difference is now is the powers to be. They were so close before Trump came in to getting what they wanted. Now you'll notice I stray away from saying certain things because I don't want to attract too much attention. I'm just giving you pieces and mostly sticking to the stuff that I hear. Today I'm going from the hip because it's just too much to be said. Iran, Afghanistan, Cuba's pissed off. Russia, China, most recently tried to shoot us in our seas and shot a couple of missiles at our Navy ships, rumor has it. It's already started. China's intention is to attack Taiwan and Japan. Japan and Taiwan have spent millions and billions of dollars in military gear, Navy ships. And Trump is going to release a new carrier that's amazing. A new Navy carrier that looks amazing. With technology on it, I tell you, I think it's almost as close to alien technology if you really look at this thing. Changes are coming, folks. Stop fooling yourselves that tomorrow nothing could ever take place. No. There was a time when you could think like that. Now we can't afford it because we have to look after our grandmamas, our grandpapas, our children, their grandchildren, etc., our moms, dads. Oh, everybody, awaken. Awaken. Because if I went in deeper with all the other stuff that's really taking place too, a lot of folks are already in trouble for that. I'm not looking for that. I'm looking to basically just tell you, hey, did you see? So there's one final thing I'm going to say, and then I'm going to go. You have to ask yourself what kind of person you are. Are you in God's good graces? Do you believe in the word of the Lord? Or are you with a satanic regime? No one says you have to believe in everything Donald Trump is doing or even respect it. But if it makes this nation safer, if it makes our country safer, then I'm all for that. The problem is that powers to be and the evil that we've been fighting since 9/11 have gotten more brazen. They've gotten stronger, and they're more angrier than ever. And they want their NWO to be real. So, believe in your fantasies all you want. I'm choosing not to. I'm choosing to believe in me. You should do the same. Believe in yourself. Stay within. Understand. Become more spiritual. Pay attention to what's going on around you. And you become more sensitive in your intuition will then broaden. Because that's what we need. Pay attention. Focus. Because changes are coming so badly that now there's no more excuses. There won't be any excuses for any of us. Conservative or liberal alike. Republican or Democrat alike. World War III has begun, folks. And the two biggest kids on the block pretty soon are going to come, and we're stuck in the middle. We're stuck in the middle of all this, half of this we didn't ask for. I don't care what side you're on. You have to ask yourself, we didn't ask for this. This is not what we all wanted. This is not the life we deserve or we wanted. But we're getting it. So don't lose sleep, but stay focused. Expect the worst, but hope for the best. Bless you all. Blessed be to those of you who understand that, because our time is going shorter by the minute. And if we don't focus on what prophecy dictates, on what historically behind us has already taken place, then we're all going to suffer the same. We're all going to suffer the same cause. Because in the end, our friends and neighbors are all we're going to have when the crap hits the fan. Don't be confused. These people don't care about you. You have to care for your own. Forget that you're a Democrat or Republican. Be a human being. Be a human being. I didn't vote for Trump. I don't disagree with him, but I didn't vote for him. I didn't vote for Obama. I didn't vote for Bill Clinton. I didn't vote because I learned early. But again, that's my opinion, and most of you are probably going to say, well, hey, if you don't vote, your voice is not heard. Apparently, it still wasn't heard now 20-something years later. And now we have a president that wants to fix certain things, and nobody wants to let him fix it. So, like in that song, Civil War, Guns N' Roses, you get what we had here. I don't like it any more than you men. But still, it's still going to take place, folks. Changes are taking place right in front of your eyes. So don't get caught up with TV. Don't get caught up with your social media nonsense. Don't get caught up. At least keep one eye fixed. Because like I said, in the end, like Lincoln Park said, it doesn't even matter. You know, because pretending to be somebody else, you're just wasting a lot of people's time. The Lord's watching. The angels are watching. And we've got choices to make. Let's hope the right ones are made so that innocent lives don't get caught up in the middle, because, again, Iran is losing women and children. They're murdering them in the streets, folks. You also have to ask yourself, before I go, where is the humanitarian help from the United Nations? Where? Why aren't the nations that are closest to Iran not assisting them or lifting a finger? Maybe NATO has something to do with that. I don't know for sure. Why aren't other countries or people here donating their time to go over there? Why? And now Turkey is telling the United States, if you enter that zone, along with one or two other countries, telling Trump, if he goes in there, it's a provocation of war. Of course it's a provocation of war, you geniuses. They're murdering innocent people. Wake up. This is the problem with people. No common sense anymore. We have to ask ourselves, what the hell happened? Because I'll tell you, folks, if we let this continue, there won't be a pot to piss in. I say, God bless America. God bless those in Iran that are fighting for their lives. God bless those in Venezuela that are fighting for their lives, and every other country. God bless the United States Army, the United States Navy, the United States Marines, and those brave men and women all throughout different countries risking their lives right now, especially those out there in Iran and the embassy. Get home safe, okay? Because we miss you. Blessed be, folks. Blessed be. And expect the worst, but let's hope for the best. Godspeed.